Read this if you feel like giving up. I fully understand that feeling of wanting to give up. That sensation that everything has become too heavy. But I am here to tell you that this moment you are living right now, this very momentous a turning point. You may not see it now, but this is the point you will one day look back on and say, here, in this moment, I decided to be stronger. Let's go through facts, strategies, and real-life examples that show why you can and should keep going. First, understanding the urge to give up, the science behind it. Giving up is not just a decision. It is a complex psychological reaction. Research suggests that the urge to give up arises when you feel your effort is not leading to the desired outcome. Frustration and hopelessness begin to creep in. In these moments, an internal battle emerges between two sides of your personality, one that wants to stop because of exhaustion, and another that knows you are capable of continuing. This struggle is normal, but the real difference lies in how you handle it. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. According to psychologist Carol Dweck, there are two types of mindsets. Fixed mindset believes your abilities are static and unchangeable. Failure becomes proof of inadequacy. Growth mindset believes your abilities can be developed through effort and perseverance. Failure is not the end, it is a way to learn and grow. One study confirms that developing a growth mindset boosts persistence and motivation, especially when facing setbacks. What happens in your brain? When you face repeated failure, your brain releases stress hormones like cortisol. This can affect your ability to make sound decisions. The good news is that you can train your brain to handle stress better using techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and positive reframing. Second, real stories, those who kept going when everyone wanted to quit. Thomas Edison, when failures become your strength. Thomas Edison, inventor of the light bulb, was expelled from school after only 3 months because his teachers considered him stupid and mentally slow. Before he could invent the light bulb, he failed more than 10,000 times. When asked about it, he said his famous line, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Without those 10,000 failures, we might still be living in darkness. Imagine if he had given up after attempt number 5,000. He would never have become one of history's greatest inventors. Albert Einstein, from mentally disabled to genius of the century. Did you know Albert Einstein did not speak fluently until he was 9 years old? He was expelled from school for being rebellious, and he failed his university entrance exam. Some teachers said he was mentally disabled and had no talents, but Einstein did not listen. He kept learning and experimenting until he became one of the greatest minds in human history, winning the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. Walt Disney, from uncreative to owner of a dream empire. Walt Disney, the man who filled our childhood with joy and imagination, began his career by being fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and creativity. He failed in many businesses before founding the company that today is the most famous animation studio in the world. Imagine if Disney had given up when they said he was uncreative. The world would be without Mickey Mouse and Disneyland. Sylvester Stallone, when a man has to sell his dog to eat. Sylvester Stallone's story is one of the most painful and inspiring. Before his massive success, Stallone lived in extreme poverty for years. He only got tiny roles. He reached the point where he had to sell his wife's jewelry, then his dog, because he could not feed him. Eventually, he became homeless and slept on the streets for days. But he did not give up. He wrote the script for Rocky in 3 days, and he refused to sell it unless he played the lead role. After many studio rejections, one studio agreed to produce it with a tiny budget. The film became a massive hit and won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Today, Sylvester Stallone is a symbol of resilience and willpower. Jack Ma, from 30 rejections to the richest man in China. Jack Ma, founder of the Alibaba Group, failed his college entrance exam twice. He applied for many jobs and was rejected. He took the police exam and failed. When he applied to a company, there were 24 other applicants. 23 were accepted and he alone was rejected. When he wanted to start Alibaba, he raised $60,000, but the site did not turn a profit for its first few years. Today, the platform handles trillions of dollars in transactions. Third, how to overcome the urge to give up. Practical strategies. 1. Acknowledge your feelings. Don't be ashamed. The first step to dealing with the urge to give up is to acknowledge it. Do not try to ignore or suppress your feelings. Psychological studies show that suppressing emotions increases stress and makes recovery from setbacks harder. Tell yourself, "I feel exhausted, I feel like giving up." That is normal. Then allow yourself to express those feelings through writing or by talking to someone you trust. To reframe not giving up, it's not blind stubbornness. Psychological resilience does not mean stubbornly continuing down the wrong path. It means adapting, realizing that challenges are part of the journey, and that setbacks are not the end but opportunities to learn and grow. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? 3. Practice daily gratitude. This may sound simple, but research shows that regular gratitude practice can even extend lifespan. In a study of nuns, researchers found that those who expressed gratitude regularly lived up to a decade longer than others. Try the simple exercise at the beginning or end of each day. Identify 3 good things that happened to you. They don't have to be big, something simple like a good cup of coffee or seeing a friend. Focus on what you can control. When you feel like giving up, it is often because you are focusing on things outside your control. Instead, ask, what is the one thing I can do right now, no matter how small, to improve my situation? 5. Build supportive relationships. Social relationships are a key component of psychological resilience. Connect with people who value and support you. They will be there when you face life's challenges. 6. Spend time in nature. Nature is full of novelty and positive stimuli. Try to spend 5 minutes a day outdoors, focusing on what you see, hear, and feel. 4. Words to motivate you to keep going. Not giving up doesn't guarantee winning, but it gives you something else. To see yourself clearly, to know how much you can give, to live without that heavy what if. Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strength. When you go through hardships and decide not to give up, that is strength. Resilience is the ability to respond to life's circumstances and events with spontaneity and fluidity. The strongest trees grow from the cracks of rocks. Success is failure and progress. Albert Einstein. Failure does not break a weak soul. A strong soul uses failure as a ladder to success. There is no life with despair, and no despair with life. 5. Practical steps for today right now. If you feel like giving up at this very moment, try these simple steps. 1. Take a deep breath 5 times, each slower than the last. 2. Write down 3 things you are grateful for, no matter how small. 3. Reach out to a supportive person, send a message or call. For change your environment, step outside for a few minutes. 5. Break your big task into tiny steps, then complete just 1 step. 6. Remind yourself of an inspiring success story like Edison, Einstein, or Stallone. Finally, you are stronger than you think. The truth is, the urge to give up is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you have been trying hard for a long time. But remember, the people who changed the world were not the smartest, richest, or luckiest. They were simply the ones who refused to give up when others told them to stop. The moment you want to give up is exactly the moment right before the big breakthrough. Edison was 1 attempt away from the light bulb. Einstein was 1 year away from his theory of relativity. Stallone was 1 pitch away from getting his film accepted. Disney was 1 idea away from his empire. You may be just 1 step away from your goal, 1 step. Just don't stop now. You did not come this far to stay here, you came this far to get past here. So, wipe your tears if you are crying, breathe deeply, and remind yourself, you are capable of more than you imagine. Life was not created for you to live at defeat, but to live it victorious. Remember, failure is not the end of the road. Failure is just a redirection. The road to success is paved with failure and persistence. All you need is to believe that you can and to keep trying. Even if you stumble 1,000 times, you are here. You are reading this, that means you haven't given up yet, and that alone is proof of your strength.